So, good morning, everybody. Today, we are here to discuss mainly about the concepts in communication. What are the basic concepts? What are the things we need to understand? And how effectively we can manage with the communication. The stories I have discussed in my last video. So, regarding the importance of communication skill, and how to learn the communication skill, and what matters the most in learning your communication skill. And so today we'll discuss exact concepts. What are these? Last video we discussed about the story. Today we'll mainly discuss about what are the exact concepts. What is communication? What is verbal communication? What is non-verbal communication? Likewise, we'll discuss today in detail about the concepts involved in communication. The first thing which you have to remember in communication is what is the definition of the communication? The first thing is communication can be defined as the process by which people share ideas, experience, knowledge. People share ideas, experience, knowledge, and feelings through the transmission of symbolic images or symbolic messages. So I repeat, definition of communication. Communication can be defined as the process by which people share ideas, experience, knowledge, feeling. So I remember it as IEKF. So KFC we know. So I eat KFC. The mnemonic is I eat KFC. So communication can be defined as the process by which the people share. I eat KFC. I stands for ideas. E stands for experience. K stands for knowledge, and F stands for feelings, through the transmission of symbolic messages. Through the transmission of symbolic messages. I repeat, communication is a process by which people share. I eat KFC. I share ideas, experience, knowledge, and feelings through the transmission of symbolic messages. Through the transmission of symbolic messages. So I repeat, so communication you need to understand better. So communication is the process the people share ideas, experience, knowledge, and feelings through the transmission of symbolic messages. See, there's body language also involved in communication. Sometimes we say yes, this means all the best. This means very good, very super. Likewise, they are trying to say the communication is a symbolic message. With the use of symbolic messages, the people are going to transfer information. There is this transmission of either information in the form of, it can be either idea, experience, knowledge, and even the feelings. Knowledge and even the feelings. So this means I love you. They say, okay, this is called by the languages. Body language I am trying to say. And you know politicians, they use these words. So it's all like the body language. There is a transmission of information, transmission of idea, transmission of experience, transmission of the knowledge and the feelings, okay, involved in communication. So when you are not an effective communicator, so you are not going to transfer your idea in a good way. You are not going to able to transfer your knowledge. You are not able to transfer your experiences. You are not able to motivate the people. That's the basic thing. You are not able to motivate. I already told you, communication is the key skill for the leader. If you are not an effective communicator, you are not able to transfer your ideas, you are not able to transfer your experiences, you are not able to transfer your knowledge, and finally you are not able to transfer your feelings to the group which you headed. So that's why communication plays a major role, and it plays an important role in the management and also in building one's own personality. And it is the key to success. It is the key for the leaders to become succeed in their life, and it's one of the important parameter involved in personality development system. Myself, Dr. Thipperudraswamy, I have written book on personality development system, and I am planning to do a Guinness Book of World Record in the longest speech marathon by speaking about the personality development system book continuously for more than 100 hours. Let's see. I am planning to do the attempt in April. Let's see. Okay, and if all the process permits, we'll better attempt it as soon as possible. So here the basic concept, the basic idea is very, very simple. So that is, you need to understand the things. So communication is the better. If you are an effective communicator, you can communicate your ideas, experiences, feelings, and knowledge to the people. So that is very important rather than anything else. So that's why. So we'll go step by step these things. Okay. The first and the foremost thing in the communication, I repeat, definition of communication, I repeat, very simple, no need to get any panic or anything. It's a very simple definition. So communication is a process by which people transfer their ideas, experiences, knowledge and feelings through the transmission of symbolic messages. Symbolic, body language, verbal, non-verbal communication. The classifications are there. We'll discuss about those things later. But for time being, you remember the communication, definition of communication is defined as the people share their ideas, experiences, knowledge and feeling through the transmission of symbolic messages. Okay. So now we'll discuss about those things. What is this? The means of communication are usually either spoken or written words. Spoken or written words, pictures or symbols, but we also give information through body languages. Gestures, looks, okay, and facial expression, and can show how we feel, what we think about an issue and another person. How we feel and what we think about an issue or another person. So very important. What is the communication? Is the means usually either it is spoken or written words, pictures, symbols. Okay, spoken. That's what I told. Verbal and non-verbal communication. So it is either spoken, written, or pictures, or through the symbols. Symbols, what I told you. Yes, good luck, all the best, and very, very super. So average. Likewise, so some body language is also involved in it. So I did either through the words, or through the written, or through the pictures, or through the symbols. But we also give information through body languages, gestures, and looks. Definitely. With the facial expression, I already told you, leaders should control the entire team just with their facial expression. They need not show. They did not shout. In some of the instances, if the person or a labor or an employee has done any mistake, so what they have to do? They have to tell it in just their expression. Yes, if they are angry. Yes, I am angry. Yeah. If they have done some, if they are happy, they have to show it in their face. That is, I already told you, smile is the most pleasing thing anyone can have or as an ornament is their smile. And the second thing which you have to remember is, but we also give information through the body languages, gestures and looks, facial expression. Facial expression, I told you, when you're angry, when you're sad, when you're happy. Just with your facial expression, you need to control the whole team. That's what they're trying to say. And we feel and we think about the issue and other person. With the facial expression only, you can say how you think, what you think about the issue or about the other person. That's very important rather than anything else. Okay, so that's what the means of communication are usually: spoken or written words, pictures, symbols. Okay, So communication can be defined as a process by which the people share their ideas, experiences, knowledge, and feelings through the transmission of symbolic messages. And this is the communication is a means of. It can be either in the spoken words, written letter, pictures, or through symbols. And some people do say they express with their body languages, facial expressions, okay, looks, gestures, okay. That's also is a modes or means of communication, okay. But with the facial expression only, the leader can say whether he is happy with the issue, whether he is not happy with the issue, or whether he is happy with the personnel, or whether he is not happy with the personnel. That is very important, okay. So we'll go step by step. What are the most common ways we communicate? Spoken words, I told you, yes. Written word, yes. Body language, and visual images. Visual images, this you can see. Visual images, like say for example, visual image, when you want to say about some disaster story, something we show for the people when you want to tell to the people about something, you show some pictures. This is exactly where it will be helpful, means it probably when you want to experience the audience regarding the matter, when you want to experience the audience regarding the when you want to feel the audience in the shoes of the sufferer, it's better you give the video or images, they work. So probably what I'm trying to say here is the four major most common ways we communicate as a general I'm trying to say. So that spoken words, we know spoken words, written, and body language, and the visual images. Okay, visual images. We'll see. Yes, there are yes. You need to understand what is upward communication and downward communication and lateral communication. What are these simple things? They are very, very simple. So remember, there are three main ways of communication, which is called as upward, downward, and lateral. Very, very simple. We'll go through first. Downward communication is highly directive from the senior to the subordinates, to assign duties, give instruction, to inform, to offer, to offer feedback, approval, to highlight problems. And upward communication, it is a non-directive in nature, from the down below, to give feedback, to inform about the problems and the progress, and seeking approvals. It's upward, downward. I'll discuss. Lateral or horizontal communication is among the colleagues, peers, to same level for information, level of information sharing for coordination, and to save time. Sharing for coordination and to save the time. That is very important rather than anything else. Okay. Yeah, we'll discuss what are these things. So what they are trying to say. See, very simple thing. These are very, very simple thing. See, they say upward communication, downward communication, and lateral communication. Very simple. Upward, downward, and lateral communication. So very simple. Upward means from the lower official, employee, to the manager, from the employee to the leader, is upward. Downward, from the leader to the employee, from the manager to the employee, from the manager to the subordinates, lower staff, is downward. Upward is from the employees to the manager, and laterally means within the colleagues. For example, if you are in a clinic, your doctor is the manager, the nursing staff, technicians, and group D are there. Okay. So from the doctor to the nursing staff, group D is the downward communication, and from the nursing staff, technician, and group D to the doctor is upward communication, and between the nursing staff and between the technician and between the group D is a lateral communication. Very simple concept. Understood? So communication can be defined in three ways: downward, upward, and lateral communication. Because see, first we need to understand what is communication and what are the types. That is very important. See, if you know the why, some people are asking me. Recently I received a mail from some different place. The place was I am not able to pronounce by me. Spain. Some place I am not able to announce that. I mean, it's very difficult for me to pronounce that name. Spain, a place in the Spain, and the student has mailed me. They're saying that, see, whatever I am telling is there, or the management, this communication, time management, stress management, leadership qualities, problem. And finally, at this time, I have received mail mainly from the doctor, the two who is studying, and they were saying that what introduction of this management subject into the MBBS students is definitely work. And what they're trying to say, it is there in some psychiatry. Something. See, psychiatry, the diseases are different. See, we have a physiology, okay, and we have a medicine and pathology. So all the three are not same. Understood? Very simple. What I'm trying to say: physiology, pathology, medicine. Likewise, psychiatry is a pathology. What a pathology? Personality development system book is a physiology. Understood? What I'm trying to say? Personality development system book is a physiology, your physiology, and psychiatry is your pathology or medicine, whatever you're trying to say. It's a continuation. Personality development system continuation is your psychiatry. Understood? That's why I want this as a subject for the medical student. First thing, and I am happy that I am receiving some good answers and good reply from the people that they're saying that this personality development system book should be implemented to the medical students, and there should be a subject for the medical students to learn about the personality. I am happy about that. First thing, and why when we define, okay, I have written book on myself, Dr. Thipperudraswamy, I have written book on personality development system, and why? So when I am defining, for example, I am defining, I am already told you, I am mainly worried about the doctors, junior doctors, undergraduates, postgraduates, and the junior residents who should learn these management skills and these management things. See, they cannot go. I mean, there are some poor doctors also. If you include it as a subject itself, and even the doctors, some of the doctors can teach that, and even they can learn it. See, nothing is impossible. Learning is, I will say, our Ekalavya, without the help of Dronacharya, he has learnt all the skill, including better than our Arjuna. What I am trying to say here is, the learning, it's an instinct. It's your own instinct. It's your own motivation. Intrinsic and extrinsic, I was telling. Intrinsic, once the person is intrinsically motivated, the task itself motivates him. The things which are happening surrounding him will motivate him. So what I am trying to say here is, the personality development system book, once it becomes a subject for the students, they learn in detail what exactly this personality, leadership skills, leadership qualities, communication, conflict management, time management. So, but what they are trying to say, even when before getting the MBBS seat, we have managed it, we have read it, that's why only we'll get the seat. So we will be knowing, and some people do claim that personality should be taught by their mother. And so I'm not in particular about any of these things. See, at some point of time, we get confused in the sense, and the workload and those things, we fail to prioritize the things, strategize the things. At that point of view, this personality development system book, understanding of the concept related to the personality is very important, rather than going for the psychiatry. According to me, it's my opinion, I'm trying to say, the psychiatry is just like physiology continuation is your pathology and medicine, your anatomy continuation is your surgery, personality development system continuation is your psychiatry. Understood? Please try to understand what I'm trying to say. So likewise, you need to just understand these concepts. Communication, sometimes what we do, we neglect. See, while reading, we'll have so much to read, we neglect some of the things, but we read and we succeed, that's not a problem. But as we fall into practice, we fail. Most of the doctors fail because they don't know how to manage. And if we have defined, see, you give this as a subject for the students, they read, because they have to get the marks, they will read. And believe me, if they read and if they get the marks, and at least 80% of the students are going to understand it. See, I told you, communication. Some people say that, hey, you are very bad, there is a communication gap, you are a very bad communicator, you are an effective communicator. Some comments, suddenly, yes, Communication is the process by which the people transfer their ideas, experiences, and knowledge and feelings through the symbolic messages. Yes, correct. So where I do fail in this, either symbolic messages. Yes, I need to transfer my ideas. Yes, experiences. Yes, and knowledge. Yes. Then he changes his approach to the lower group staff or the higher staff changes. He shares his ideas. He shares his knowledge. He shares his experiences. Then the working environment changes. I'm not saying it's a whole working environment changes, and there will be an improvement in the medical practice field. So that's why my main intentions are, and I have received mail regarding some, I am doing any campaign. No, it's not a campaign thing. I'm trying to just educate the people regarding this personality development system book, and such that once they get familiar with these things, they are able to manage the situation better. I'm mainly worried about the doctors, undergraduates, postgraduates, interns, and the junior residents and senior residents. These are the main people who will be working day and night, who will be with the patients. Believe me, who will be with the patients for maximum time. When surgeon comes, he does operation and he goes off. The rest interns will be there, the PGs will be there, residents will be there. So if you train them, these people, these class of group of doctors, if you train regarding the personality, your medical treatment facility will be improved. So that's what my intention and plan. Let's see to what extent it succeeds and all, to what extent it will reach the people. So my basic idea here is, the first we shall define these things. See, most of the people fail. Some people say you don't have a communication skill. You are a bad communicator. There is a communication gap. That's why this problem is. But if you understand what is the exact definition, what are the types? Yes, so this. Then you can solve it in a better way. When you already know it, you can solve it better. Okay, that's why. And my main idea is, I am not targeting any of the higher class or group or anything. My intentions are very clear. Even though the person is with the merit sheet, he has taken MBBS and is working, and he should learn about this. He should be given idea regarding this personality development system, especially if the doctors, such that they are able to manage the situation better, they are able to handle the situation better, and they are going to perform well. Remember, if the doctor is performing well, where is the medical care, healthcare facility will be? It will be very nice. There are so many doctors who are working all throughout the day, I know, 24/7. So I am not speaking about them. Again, even though they are working 24/7, what is the time they need to take rest? What are the relaxing exercise, stress relieving exercises they can do? What is the importance of meditation? Likewise, this personality development system book teaches regarding these things. Okay, that's why I want this personality development system book to be one of the subject for the medical student. I'm mainly worried about the doctors. Myself, Dr. Thipperudraswamy, I have written book on personality development system, and I'm planning to do these things. Okay. And someone asked, okay, that also I have to read. Someone was telling, sir, your book looks very much primitive. Yes, no problem. Yes, sir, it is primitive only. But what my intentions are very clear. See, when the Harley Davidson bike came, earlier it was just looking like your cycle. Harley Davidson bike was just looking like a cycle in 1940. Now what is the cost of it and how it looks like? So these are processes, don't worry. But what my intentions are, I need to transfer the information as early as possible with my own effort. No one has helped me, no one has funded me. Believe me, no one has funded me, no one has helped me. It's all my salary amount I have put, and I am doing this. First thing. And what is my intention? Everyone should know about these things such that they can manage the situation better, they can handle the situation better, and they can perform effectively. And they will have an effective personality which they can impact on others also. Again, positive perception, this I have been speaking about in my all videos. Positive perception, effective perception and all, it will be discussed in last videos, no problem. But my intention, so very clear. So whatever I want to add, I have added, and I am not doing it for money. I don't want any money from these things, no problem. But my intentions are, people should know about these things as much as possible, such that their management capacity is improved, their handling the situation is improved, their situation analysis is improved. Okay, some of the concepts I designed, it's a creation. Some of the concepts, it's my creation, I do agree. So it's my opinion and it's my creation. See, we in physiology and in some books in medical practice, we see different books. Different books have different same concept in different books, different. Likewise, this is my opinion and my creation and my imagination. Okay, and if you apply it and if it will works, good. That's what I'm trying to say. And some 99% for references, I have reference, whatever written in my book, I have references, no problem. But some of the concepts are my own, no problem if it works. For example, fishbone diagram and this diagram, it's my imagination. I just want to, it's my imagination. Some people do describe, but not in that way, but it's my own imagination. There's so many things, positive perception, positive personalities, characteristics of positive person. These are all my imagination. I create, this, if this is there in the positive personality, oh yes, this, likewise, it's my imagination, my creation. Some of the concepts in the book are my creation, some I have a reference, no problem. But what I'm trying to say here is, whatever is there, you learn it. It's for you. It's for free. I'm not taking any money from anyone. I'm not taking any money from my book also. It's my own salary money I have invested just to people to they can understand better, they can implement it, and they can handle it better situation. I'm mainly worried about doctors, that undergraduates, postgraduates and residents, mainly because they are the people, they will be with the patients for 24/7. Maximum touch with the patient, this class of doctors. And if they handle it better, there will be a revolution in the field of medicine. Believe me, there will be a revolution in the field of medicine. We'll discuss. It's my dream. Okay, we'll discuss about those things later, but we'll come back to the concept and academics now. So this was a question asked by Spanish person. It's a very big question. He has been mailing since so many days, and I thought something he's kidding, something like that. But it's better I answer his question also. I don't remember his name, some Michael something. But thank you, sir. Thank you. No problem. These questions also I can take it in a positive way. No problem. But my intentions, try to understand my intentions. I have not taken any money from anyone. My own money I have invested, and I am interested in people should understand about this concept. That is mainly the doctor class. That to the class like undergraduates, postgraduates, interns, and the residents who will be maximum time with the patients and who will be handling in the emergency situations. If they can handle it better, there will be a revolution in the field of medicine. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so these are my concept. Next, so communication definition I told you, other types of communication I told you. Next thing which you have to remember is, yes, types of communication. If you want, I can give you examples also. Simple examples means, say for example, if you have types of communication, example, you want example, no? So very simple. That is, see, you want example for types. Yes. If the manager, you leader or manager want to assign some work. Say for example, on the Saturdays there is a meeting. He either calls a meeting, tells everyone, or he gives one letter, circular. That is communication, written communication. Okay, from the downward communication. Upward communication, they have discussed in the morning at 11 o'clock, all of them feel like they should have a tea. So they write one letter, all of them sign, they write a letter, sir, we need to have a tea break at 11 o'clock, please consider. That is a upward communication. Between the staff, say for example, there's misuse of internet. It happens in most of the offices. Okay, they rather use the internet maximum for their personal work rather than for the official work. It happens all the offices. It's a common thing. I'm not complaining about anyone, but what I'm trying to say here is, so you can restrict it. You can restrict either you can discuss with your colleagues itself. So you use this much MB, you use this much restriction. Okay, you have put a restriction for the internet usage. That's what they're trying to say. So these are all downward, upward and lateral communication. Example. Now the thing which comes to your mind is, yes, hierarchy level. Yes, hierarchy level. So executive director, vice president, assistant general manager, supervisor and foreman. It's just like in the factory how they will be. They have written like that, hierarchy levels. So I already told you. So it can be either, if it is a medical college or institution, it could be It's a medical college or institution. It could be either the director, principal, HODs, the professors, associate professors, assistant professor, hierarchy levels. That's what they're trying to discuss. It's no problem. So these are all like that, hierarchy levels. You should understand. Okay. Now the thing which communication key elements: message, source, channel, receiver, filter, feedback. Yes. See, for example, this is you have to key elements. Mean these parts of communication. In other words, you can say the parts, different parts of communication. Okay. What are these different parts? The first thing which you have to remember here is, yes, parts of communication. I remember with the key MSC RFF. Okay, MSC RFF. Okay, M stands for message, source or sender, C stands for channel, receiver, filter, feedback. Okay, what is this communication? Yes, there are barriers in the communication. Yes, process is very simple. Sender sends a message through the medium, receiver receives it. Either he gives feedback or response. There are some barriers in the communication. Yes. You need to understand it better. But before going to that, I need to tell you the process of communication. Very simple process. And I already told you about the one example story I have told you. Okay. So the story is the manager calls for a meeting. He sends a letter. It is circulated. That is a downward communication. So what they are trying to say, what are the key elements, in other words you can say parts of communication, parts, who were all involved, what is the response for that, what is the feedback for that. That's what they are trying to say. Communication, very simple concept. I am trying to even in the communication parts itself, parts or elements of communication itself I can speak for 1 hour, but for time being we'll just do one thing. So communication parts, how you are going to discuss. The first thing is message. Message is meeting. The manager has called for a meeting. Message, that is a message. Okay. Second, sender. Sender is your manager. Okay. C, channel, through the letter. Okay. Receiver, yes. Receiver, filter, feedback. Okay. Receiver are your employees. Okay. Filter, feedback. Filter means this is what is called as barriers of communication. Yes, it's called as barriers of communication. What exactly is this barriers of communication is all about? So for example, if you are doing it was a meeting, for example the meeting is on the leaves, just giving example on the leaves, just for example in the leaves, and the manager want to give some bonus regarding something like that. And he just when the letter was received by your superintendent, office superintendent, or someone person or the lower than your manager, he takes it and he tells verbally some other thing. There's a meeting, if you want you can come, it's nothing important in it, like that. That is a filter, communication barrier. Barrier is created by that person. He has not told what exactly the things he need to tell to the participants of the meeting. If he was a really effective communicator, he could have told them, yes, this is the meeting, this is the topic to be discussed, be prepared for the topic, and you come back with your preparation, do preparation and come back. See, why I am trying to say means, it will happen everywhere. I am not saying that there is no office is full of, there are full office is full of effective communicators, and in this office, no, it's nothing like. It will be there. Barriers of communication will be there. There will be a feedback, a receiver, again bad receiver, bad sender, bad channel. So these are common. Okay. So for example, bad sender. He calls someone, for example, lower staff just below him. He calls and he tells, there is a meeting on Monday. You tell to everyone verbally. He does not tell anything about the purpose of meeting or anything. He just goes and he tells there is a meeting. If you want, you can come. There is no problem. Just over. So participants of the meeting are not motivated either by the sender or through the medium or a channel or anything. And there is no clarity at all. There is no clarity at all. So that's why that is very important rather than anything else. Okay, so for that matter, please do remember barriers of communication. You should eliminate the barriers of communication such that there should be an effective communication between the manager and the employee, and that can take you towards success rather than anything else. So that is a very important thing. Okay, last I repeat, MSC, RFF. M stands for message, S stands for sender, C for channel, and R for receiver, F for filter, and another F for feedback. So sender sends message through the channel medium, through the channel, and it is received by the receiver. He gives a feedback, either he responds, reacts to that. Okay, so that's what, in other words, called as decentralization. We'll discuss about those things later, I think, so better decentralization and those things. The powers are given to the lower staff rather than the higher staff. Decentralization, we'll discuss about those things later. So for time being, remember, this is the process of communication. So first there will be a message regarding the meeting or regarding something else. That is a message. Sender is a manager. Channel is either through the letters or anything. Channel. Next comes RFF. R stands for receiver. Receiver. Filter, feedback. Okay. So these are the 6 major things which you have to remember rather than anything else. And you believe me, this matters rather than anything else. This process, if you understand better, you can become an effective communicator. Understand? And you will be understanding what are the barriers and where are the steps where the problems can arise, and you will prevent it, and you can become an effective communicator, and your communication will be effective. Okay, that's what the key elements or parts of your communication. The next thing which you have to remember is, yes, I already told you, today we are going to mainly discuss about the characteristics of effective communication. Yes, characteristics of effective communication. This is the mainly thing I already told you. Characteristics of effective communication and effective communicator. We'll discuss very important thing, and you can find, I have put a mnemonic also. We'll discuss. No? This is very important. Whatever till now we have spoken, they are all okay. If you don't, when you need to learn and you need to understand better. But remember, from now on, this is very important. Please do understand the characteristics of effective communication. The first thing which you have to remember in characteristics of effective communication is, effective communication requires the message. Effective communication requires the message to be clear. Effective communication requires the message to be clear, and concise, accurate, okay, and relevant to the needs of the receiver. Yes, okay, it should be clear, concise, accurate, relevant to the needs of the receiver, timely, meaningful, applicable to the situation. Timely, it will be timely. Meaningful, yes. Applicable to the situation, it will be applicable to the situation. Yes, A stands for accurate, clear, concise, relevant to the needs of the receivers, or timely, meaningful, and applicable to the situation. Timely, meaningful, and applicable to the situation. Yes, I remember. See, if you ACC cement, you know ACC. Yes. TRS, you know trauma. Okay, so you want the mnemonic for this. Okay, so very simple. Effective communication, the characteristics of effective communication, very simple. ACC, TRAM. Okay, ACC, A stands for accurate, C stands for it should be clear, concise, accurate, clear, concise. TRAM, T for timely, yes. R for relevant to the needs of the receiver, yes. A stands for again applicable to the situation and meaningful. TRAM, applicable to the situation and meaningful. Okay, we'll discuss that. And See, when you think about the effective communication, so the parts, you go in the parts. So first, message, it should be clear, ACC, accurate, clear, concise, yes. Timely, yes. Relevant to the needs of the receiver, yes. Applicable to the situation and meaningful. That is when you effective communication in regarding message. And effective communication requires the sender to know the subject well, yes. Be interested in the subject, yes. And know the audience members and establish a rapport with them. Okay, so first you should know the subject, interested, yes. You should know the audience also, and you should establish a rapport with them and speak at the level of the receiver, yes. Speak at the level of the receiver and choose an appropriate communication channel. Choose an appropriate communication channel. So I for the mnemonic for this sender is, she should know the subject well, yes. No, interested in the subject, yes. KI. And they should know the audience and establish a rapport, KIR, okay. Speak to the level, KIRL, level of the receiver, yes. And choose an appropriate communication channel, yes. KIRLC, yes. KIRLC, yes. No problem. So it's your mnemonic. You can do anything. You can keep anything. So I repeat. So when you think of the effective communication, there are two things which you have to remember. So what they're trying to say: effective communication in relevant to the message, effective communication in relevant to the sender. The effective communication in relevant to the message is ACC TRAM. A stands for accurate, concise, clear, timely, relevant to the needs of the receiver. Yes, it should be relevant. No, cannot speak irrelevant things. No. Yes, it should be relevant to the needs of the receiver. A stands for applicable to the situation, and M stands for meaningful. Yes, definitely it is applicable to the situation. You can apply it, and it should be meaningful. Basically, it should be meaningful. I repeat. So these are the things which you have to remember. Applicable to situation, and it should be meaningful. Yes, TRAM. So I repeat, I say the ACC TRAM. ACC TRAM is the mnemonic for the message. So now, whenever you want to do effective communication, you should think about this ACC TRAM. A stands for accurate, concise, clear. Clear means by the written letter or words. This will be clear, and the letter should be signed by all the employee. Accurate, concise, clear. TRAM. T stands for timely. R stands for relevant to the receiver, needs of the receiver. Whatever the receiver, it should be needs of the receiver, relevant to the needs of the receiver, applicable to the situation, and it should be meaningful. That is your message. You want communication to be effective, in the message should be this, have these characteristics. ACC TRAM. If you want the communication to be effective, your sender, if you are the communicator, your sender should have the following qualities. That is KIRL. K stands for you should know the subject thoroughly. Have a knowledge. He should have a knowledge on the subject thoroughly. Yes. I stands for he should be interested in the subject. He should be interested in the subject. Yes, he should be interested in the subject. KIR. R stands for, L stands for he should speak at the level of the receiver level, and he should have an appropriate channel for sending the message. The sender should have an appropriate channel, either written or something. One channel should be medium, whatever you say. It should be a correct and appropriate medium. We'll discuss about channel later, but for time you remember. So the sender should have an appropriate channel. Speak to the level of the receiver, know the knowledge, interested in the knowledge. He should develop a rapport. He should know the audience, and he should develop a rapport with the audience. That can be developed, either you can ask in the meanwhile while you are speaking, you can ask question to the audience. You can get answer whether they are activated or whether their minds are activated, whether their minds are ignited or not. You can check it in the middle. By telling them to say something, asking questions about something which they can answer. How many of you have problems earlier, faced the problems in your life? Just one question, I'm just in general, telling. So, how many of you are graduates? First, just for example, some motivator speakers, 99% they say they are successful. The graduates are successful than the people who are not graduated. That is success. Exact definition of success, they don't know. When you tell them, they understand. Yes, even I am successful. I have passed my graduation. There are so many people who are not passed graduation. So likewise, I'm trying to say, you ask question, you develop a rapport with the audience. You develop a rapport with the audience. You say, for example, how many of you have fallen while learning the bicycle riding? 99% will raise their hands. See, that's what I'm trying to say. You develop a rapport with the audience by speaking with them, by asking questions about the general things. 99% I say you speak with the level of the receiver, that is correct. And what I'm trying to say, in 99% of the cases, you better tell the audience some of the real in-time incidences that might have happened with them, that might have they've experienced the problems, some real-time problems, some common problems you discuss, that will touch them, that will help in understanding them better. You tell some story, real-time stories, that will help them in better understanding. Rather than saying the concept continuously, you tell some stories that helps them to understand things better rather than anything else. Okay, that's why. So remember, so this is very important. You developing a rapport. So sender. So some people say, and someone I have received mail also, they're saying that, sir, I want to become a good motivational speaker. I want to become a speaker. Like, no problem, you can become. But first you learn the concepts. First you learn, later earn. There's a saying in English proverb. So first you learn. Whatever the possible things you can learn, you learn it. Whatever the possible things you can digest. See, because when you learn it, you can implement it. Without learning, nothing you can implement. Believe me, nothing you can implement. So that's what I'm trying to say here is, so first you learn the concepts. First you learn these things in detail. Then you can implement. So I repeat, last but not the least, the characteristics of effective communication in relevant to the message. It should be ACC trap. A stands for accurate, concise, clear, timely, relevant to the needs of the receiver, applicable to the situation, and meaningful. You cannot send us all of you come for a party. No, it cannot meaningful. It should be meaningful. Yeah, or you can say, there are one of female staffs. I'm giving party. Please come. Can a manager write a letter like that? It should be meaningful. Whenever the manager writes a letter to the employee, it should be meaningful also. You cannot simply write something, no? Likewise, so it should be meaningful also. So what they're trying to say here is exactly whatever the things they say, whatever the things the manager try to convey to the lower official, it should have a meaning. It should have a relevant meaning. Then only they can do the things better. They can express the things better rather than anything else. Okay, so in effective communication in relevant to the message is ACC trap. A stands for accurate, concise, clear, timely, relevant to the needs of the receiver, applicable to the situation, and it should be meaningful. And the second point is effective communication in relevant to the sender. Sender means the person who is want to communicate. So again, KIRLC. K stands for you should have a knowledge, thorough knowledge. You should know the subject thoroughly. Should have a complete knowledge. Before speaking, my book on personality development system is written by myself, Dr. Thipperudraswamy. I have written book on personality development system, and I have read the book because it is written by me only. Each and every single page of the book, each and every table, each and every word, I know it because I have written it. Then only I can speak. Or else I cannot speak. It's a 1,200 page book, and if you include those practicals and the question bank and all, it will be somewhere around 2,000 pages book. Each and every question was written by me. I can show you in my own handwriting I have written, because that's what matters. You should have a thorough knowledge. When you are a creator of the book, You should have written it. I have written by with each page, each word of the book. I have written it in my own words. Even though I have taken references, some of the things I have created in own my handwriting. I can show my book. So what I'm trying to say here is, you should have a thorough knowledge of the book. You should be interested in the subject. Yes, I was interested. See, mainly when I was hearing about the assault on doctors, that mainly 99% it will be the either postgraduate students or the residents or the interns. When I was working also, I have seen my juniors have experienced and my seniors have experienced. I've seen, that's not a problem. What I'm trying to say here is, these things, assault on the doctors, it's a very bad thing. It's because of failure of management. They are not able to manage the situations good. They don't know the concepts in management. They don't know the concepts in personality. See, whenever the patient relative has a broad dead patient, I want to explain a story. Broad dead patient in Pune happened. I think so many people did strike also. All India level strike was done. See, remember, no mistake. The person, orthopedic MS, PhD postgraduate student, there is no mistake of him. It's a broad dead patient, god damn it. Remember, it's a broad dead patient. The patient has already died and they have taken the body to the hospital. Very simple concept. So just for time pass, for better understanding of the concepts, I'm telling the story. So the broad dead patient has already died 2 hours back only. The relatives have brought the patient to in the RTA, road traffic accident, and they have taken the patient to the hospital. What better a doctor can do? You yourself, you tell me. What better a doctor can do in that situation? So is it possible? He is a god? No, if he was alive, okay, and if they can do something for the patient, that's okay. Or if they fail to do something for the patient, that's okay. Broad dead patient, what better they can do? He's a dead patient, so they are given importance for other patients who are alive. They got angry. They thought that they have not treated, that's why he has died, and they start assaulted on the doctor. And the doctor lost his vision. Believe me, he has lost his vision, and some of his bones are also broken. An orthopedic surgeon without vision and this body broken, how he can become a good orthopedic surgeon? And how whether he's continuing his MS ortho also, I don't know. But it's a very bad story, because doctors should be encouraged. Now the people are afraid of taking the clinical subject because of this type of incidents is happening. So what I'm trying to say here is, if the doctor, for example, that MS orthopedic doctor was given instruction regarding situation analysis and situation management, say for example, if the mob is there are so many people, he could have taken the patient, he could have admitted, he could have done whatever possible things. He should have acted. That's what I'm trying to say. He could have satisfied the ego of the attendants. That is very important. That is what I already told you, the management way. Management way means ego satisfaction. Ego satisfaction of the people. That is the management way means, that is only. So you need to do. Sometimes you need to do. That's not a problem. That's there everywhere. It's there. You just satisfy the ego of your enemies. No problem. Again you move forward. No problem. It happens for everyone. No problem. But only thing, your aim is to achieve the success. That is, achieving your success is very important rather than anything else. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to say. Here these two concepts are very, very important. Okay. So effective communication in relation to the message, effective communication in relation to the sender. Next comes the part of the communication is your channel or media, whatever thing. They say 99% written letters are best. We'll discuss what are those things. Okay. So I repeat once again, I want to repeat. It's very simple. Effective communication in relation to the message is ACC trap. A stands for accurate, concise, clear, timely, relevant to the needs of the receiver, applicable to the situation and meaningful. And when you think an effective communication in relation to the sender, KIRLC, the K stands for he should have complete knowledge about the subject. He should know the subject, first thing. He should be interested in the subject, yes. And he should know the audience and develop a rapport with the audience. And the L stands for he should speak to the level of the receiver. He should speak to the level of the receiver. That means he should imagine himself in the shoes of the receiver and speak. Okay. Say for example, you want a meeting in the early morning, 7 o'clock. There are some female staff, they will be working, they will have a family. Is it possible for them to come at morning 7 o'clock for the meeting? No. That's what they're trying to say. You should speak to the level of the receiver. Yes, even though if I was a female, if I had a family, that was not able to come for me also to the meeting. So they're better we fix during the working hours, either 10 o'clock or 10:30. That's what they're trying to say. It's a very simple concept. These concepts are very, very simple and very, very important also. So you should speak to the level of the receiver. And last but not the least, appropriate. You should choose an appropriate channel for sending the message to become an effective sender or effective communicator. Now, next thing which you have to remember is channel. Yes, the effective communication channel. Channel should be appropriate, affordable, and appealing. Three A's for a channel. For a channel to be effective, it should be appropriate, yes, affordable, and appealing. Appropriate, affordable, appealing. Channel should be appropriate, affordable, and appealing. Appropriate, affordable, and appealing. Yes, appropriate, affordable, and appealing. So now message is over, effective communication, message is over, sender is over, channel should be appropriate. For example, appropriate. See, for example, when you want to send from the manager to the employee, written letters are better. That's what they're trying to say. Appropriate, affordable. You cannot write it in a golden pen and say golden letters can. No, that's what they're trying to say. Appropriate, affordable. Affordable to the office, affordable to that. So affordable. You cannot give it in a drawing sheet and big letters. No, not like that. It's not possible. No. So affordable, appropriate, affordable, and appealing. What you are trying to say in appealing? You should appeal. Appropriate, affordable, and appeal. You should appeal to the people. How do you want to appeal? Appeal means in the sense appropriate, affordable, and appealing. It should even have an impact. That's what I'm trying to say. Appealing means you should have an impact. So I repeat, last 3 A's for the channel. It should be either appropriate, affordable, and appealing. It should have an effort. That's what they're trying to say. Okay, appropriate, affordable, and appealing. Next is your receiver. Receiver should be aware, interested, and willing to accept the message. Aware, interested, and willing to accept the message. Yes. AIA. Listen attentively. Yes, he should listen attentively. Understand the value of the message. Yes. Provide the feedback. Value. Provide feedback. Understand the value of the message. Feedback. Listen attentively. You should listen to the message attentively. Attentively value feedback. AVF. Okay. And so aware, interested, and willing to accept. Aware, interested, and accept the message. Willing to accept the message. Okay, no problem. So AIA and attentive. Listen attentively. You should listen. AVF or LVF. You better say LVF. Listen attentively. Listen is there. Listen, value the message, and feedback. You should provide a feedback. Yes. LVF. Okay, no problem. So, in other words, I rather say, one second. Yeah. So, yeah. So in other words, what they're trying to say, the effective communication receiver, for the communication to be more effective, the receivers should have these characteristics. The first and the foremost thing with what the receiver should have is, he should be aware of the situation, aware, interested, willing to accept. willing to accept. AIA. Listen attentively. LVF. Value of the, you should know the value of the message and provide a feedback. LVF. Okay, no problem. So these are the aware. You should be aware, interested, and willing to accept the message. Listen attentively. Value of the message. Provide a feedback. Whatever is there, you should provide a feedback. Then only it will be effective. If some mistakes are there, they should also know. If there is a good thing also, again, the sender should know. That's what they're trying to say. They should have a value for them, know the value, and they should definitely have to give the feedback to them. That's what they're trying to say. So feedback to them. Yeah. Now the thing which you have to, so receiver, that's about your, I think today we'll end up with this interpersonal communication. We'll do it in a next class. Effective, yeah, communication. Okay, I think the characteristics of effective communicator. So an effective verbal communicator, an effective non-verbal communicator. See, very simple. The mnemonic is clear for the verbal communicator. For the non-verbal communicator, it should be roles. The mnemonic is roles. I think I will stop with this. We'll see. I think I'm planning to continue it, but it will be overlapping for you also. And let's see. Yeah. So now, for the effective communication, with respect to the message, ACC tram, accurate, concise, clear, relevant to the needs of the receiver, timely, meaningful, and applicable to the situation. To the sender, you should have a thorough knowledge about the subject. You should be interested in the subject. You should know the audience and should develop a rapport with the audience. And you should speak at the level of the receiver and channel. You should find an appropriate channel for sending the messages. And to the channel level, when you think about the channel point of view, you should have an appropriate, affordable, and appealing channel. Appropriate, affordable, and appealing channel. And last but not the least is receiver. When you can, with respect to the receiver, what is an effective communication is? With respect to the receiver, the effective communication is, you need to, with respect to the receiver, the effective communication is, he should be aware, interested, and willing to accept the message, first thing, and listen attentively. This you have word you understand, attentively. Believe me, attentive listening means you should understand each and every word of the whatever the sender is saying attentively, very much, at least maximum 80% of the words. Okay, listen attentively. And last but not the least, you should value the message. LVF, value the message. You should provide a feedback. You should know the value of the message and provide a feedback. So whatever things I am trying to say now, the receiver should know the value of the message, and you should provide the feedback. That's what they're trying to understand. Okay, so very simple concepts. No need to worry so much, and these are very simple concepts. So now the point which we have to understand here is, what is an effective communicator? Effective communicator. So okay, what are the characteristics of an effective communicator? I already told you there is verbal and non-verbal communication. In the verbal communication, the mnemonic is clear, CLEAR. Clear is the mnemonic for the effective communicator verbally, and roles is the mnemonic for the effective communicator in the non-verbal. We'll discuss what are these things. Yeah. So here clarifies. C stands for clarifies. The person who clarifies the concept better is an effective communicator. He listens. Yes, he listens to the audience is an effective communicator. Encourages empathically. Encourages empathically is an effective communicator. Acknowledges, yes, is an effective communicator. And he restates or repeats is an effective communicator. Yeah, what they're trying to say, clear, the mnemonic clear, I told you. Clarifies, listens, encourages empathically, acknowledges, restates or repeats is a good communicator verbally. So the person who is an effective communicator verbally is, he clarifies the concept. He will be very much clarified in his concept. Clarifies, listens, encourages empathically, acknowledges, he acknowledges, and the last one is he restates or repeats. Effective non-verbal communicator is roles. Role stands for relaxes, opens up, he relaxes. Non-verbal communicator is he relaxes, opens up, leans towards the other person, establishes eye contact, and shows appropriate facial expressions. Facial expression. Yes. Role stands for relaxes, opens up, and leans towards the other person. He relaxes, opens up, leans towards the other person's, establishes eye contact, and shows appropriate facial expression. These things, roles very simple. Relaxes, opens up, and leans towards the other person, establishes eye contact, and shows an appropriate facial expression. Yes. So very simple. I told you, effective communicator. Today we are going to learn about effective communicator. So very simple concept. Okay. Now I need to worry about those things. Very simple. Okay. So what they're trying to say here is effective communication we have learned. Now effective communicator. Very simple concept. It's written in some book. They give the mnemonic for an effective communicator verbally and non-verbally. Verbally it is clear. Non-verbally it is roles. Clear means clarifies. C stands for clarifies. He clarifies the concepts. L stands for listens. Yes. And CLEA encourages. He encourages others. Yes. EA encourages others empathically, something like. Okay. EA stands for EAR. Again E restates or repeats, and A stands for acknowledges. Acknowledges means whatever the things you have done, he acknowledges. Yes, he has done this thing. That's what they're trying to say. He acknowledges the things. Clear. C stands for clarifies, listens, encourages, empathically, acknowledges, repeats, or restates. Next comes your roles. Non-verbal effective communicator will be roles. Roles stands for relaxes, opens up, and leans towards the other person. And he establishes eye contact and shows an appropriate facial expression. Establishes eye contact and shows an appropriate facial expression. So that is very important. Okay. He establishes eye contact and shows an appropriate facial expression. Yes. That we can understand better. Okay. So I repeat. So first I repeat what are the characteristics of an effective communicator. The characteristics of an effective communicator is classified into either verbal characteristics and non-verbal characteristics. In the verbal characteristics, mnemonic is clear. In the non-verbal characteristics, mnemonic is roles. In the verbal characteristics, T stands for he clarifies. Yes, listens. Yes, he listens. His listening is a very important thing in communication. Yes, you should listen exactly what they are trying to say. Listens. Yes. Encourages empathically, acknowledges and restates, repeats. Yes. And the second thing which you have to remember here is an effective communicator non-verbally. It is roles. Roles means relaxes, opens up, leans towards the other person, establishes an eye contact, and shows an appropriate facial expression. Shows an appropriate facial expression. That is very important. So that is about effective communicator. I think we'll stop here. See, I just want to add here interpersonal relationship also. Yeah. Skills needed for effective interpersonal communication. I think I take it in the barriers of communication. Yeah. So yeah. I just want to brief. Okay, myself Dr. Thipperudraswamy. I have written book on personality development system. Today I am very much briefing about the communication. Communication is the process by which people try to transfer their information with their ideas, experiences, knowledge and feelings. The transmission of symbolic messages. That's the definition. Okay, don't worry about it. And communication means is either it can be either verbal or written or some body languages or some even some body languages and so expression, facial expression also. What is your opinion about the issue or the person? That's what the leaders follow. So other thing which we have to remember here is that is called as, I think I can continue, but I will do it by talking by sitting. That won't be much effective. That's what I'm trying to say. And the second thing is the types of communication: downward, upward, and lateral communication types we have discussed. From the manager to the employee is downward, from the employee to the manager is upward, and between the colleagues it is a lateral communication. Very simple concept. Yes, types of communication. And the third thing which we are discussing is elements of communication. Elements, I have told you, it is the MSC, RFF. M stands for message, sender, channel, receiver, filter, feedback. Elements in communication, parts of communication you can say. Okay, so sender's first message, it is regarding anything like just there's a meeting in the staff, between the staff, message. Sender is a manager. A channel is a letter, through this letter he sends, and the next person is sender, receiver or the employees. Filter, so in the middle, the lowest staff, he filters the message. Filter and feedback, definitely they need to have to give a feedback. This is about the parts of communication or elements of communication. Some different books describe it in a different ways. For me, I say it as a parts of communication. Okay, these are the communication parts which are involved. So when you want to improve your communication, these are the parts which are involved. So you need to work on those things. That's what I'm trying to say. And the next thing which I want to add here is that is called known as characteristics of effective communication and characteristics of effective communicator. So effective communication we go first. So effective characteristics of effective communication. So in the main important characteristics of effective communication is, so you go for the parts. First is message. What are the characteristics for effective communication? What are the message should have the characteristics? Message, I have a mnemonic that is called as ACC trap. A stands for accurate, concise and clear, timely, relevant to the needs of the receiver, applicable to the situation and meaningful. That is regarding the message. Next comes your sender. Sender, I already KARLC. K stands for you should have a knowledge about the subject. You should be interested in the subject. You should develop a rapport with the audience. You should know the audience and you should develop a rapport with the audience. And you should speak to the level of the receiver. And you should have an appropriate channel through which you can give the message to the people. And the next one is when channel. In the channel, it should be appropriate, affordable, appealing. Appropriate, affordable and appealing channel or media, whatever you're trying to say. And last but not the least is receiver. Receiver, very simple concept. He should be aware, interested, willing to accept the message. He should Yes, listen attentively. Listen attentively. Value. He should give a value. He should know the value of the message. And LVF. He should give a feedback. Receiver definitely need to give a feedback to the people. That is very important. Feedback. Listen, value the message, and give a feedback. LVF. That is very important. Okay. So next thing which you have to remember here is effective communication in relation to the characteristics of effective communicator. So when you say communicator, there are, we know, the verbal and non-verbal. So characteristics of verbal communicator, non-verbal communicator. Verbal communicator, mnemonic clear. C stands for he clarifies the concepts. Clarifies, listens, yes. Encourages empathically, yes. Acknowledges, yes. And R stands for restates or repeats the concept, whatever he is trying to do. He repeats or restates. That is clear. Non-verbal characteristics of non-verbal characteristics of effective communicator are Rose relaxes, opens up, leans towards other person, and establishes eye contact with the audience, and he should give an shows an appropriate facial expression to the audience. Roles. So these are the concepts. So I think interpersonal relationship and those things will go later, and effective barriers of communication and all. Some people, language barriers, educational barriers. There are so many things. Okay, I think we'll discuss about those things later. I think it is somewhere around 1 hour 15 minutes. I think I can do further, but I think I'll go with the barriers of communication. I think so. Well, right. Barriers of communication. Yes. Yes. This will finish it off. So LBS. Okay. Okay. LVBSA. EEP. P. Tattoo. Okay. P tattoo. Okay. Barriers of communication. Mnemonic is very simple. LVBSA. P tattoo. LVBSA, P tattoo. LVBSA and P tattoo. Yeah. The mnemonic for barriers of communication is LVBSA, P tattoo. PEE tattoo. TATU. Very simple concept. There is nothing like you need to understand it better and like that. Okay, we'll discuss that also. We'll finish that concept here. It's better we finish it off here. Barriers of communication. Barriers are very important. Okay, barriers of communication, and especially this matters while giving you feedback and while reaching the feedback to the sender. That is very important. Okay, so we'll discuss about this barriers of communication. The mnemonic is LVBSA, PEE tattoo. Okay, L stands for, what is L? Language, yes. Values and beliefs, yes. Sex or gender, age, yes. Economic status, educational level, yes. Physical barriers, yes. Physical barriers, economic status, education levels, yes. Timing, yes. Attitude, yes. Trust, yes. Timing, attitude, trust. Understanding of message, tattoo. Timing, attitude, trust, understanding of message. Yes, no problem. Yeah, I think we can. Yes, now barriers of communication is all the concepts are self-explanatory, because to make an effective communication, these barriers of communication is very important. Okay, yeah, I have been asked about these barriers of communication also. When you go to the practicals in the personality development system, what I have suggested for the Medical Council of India regarding the theory, 100 marks theory and 100 marks practicals, there's all these barriers will be discussed, mainly these barriers. So the mnemonic is LV BSC, okay, PEES TATU, 12 barriers, main barriers. Some book gives different things and all. I don't worry about those things. My favorite book has given this, and this is much accepted by me, and I thought this is enough for our medical students, that do undergraduates, postgraduates, interns and residents. Yes, myself Dr. Thipperudraswamy. I have written a book on personality development system. I am planning to do a Guinness Book of World Record in the longest speech marathon by speaking about the personality development system book for more than 100 hours continuously. Let's see. Now the thing which you have to remember here is, what are these barriers of communication? Everything is self-explanatory. L stands for language. There are some people who know only the local languages, either Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, likewise, or Marathi, or something, Gujarati, Punjabi, like what, there will be barriers. They cannot understand. The communicator is doing communication in English. Initially, very difficult for them to understand. So, language can be the biggest barriers of communication. Believe me, I studied till 7th Kannada medium, and it was really difficult, but we was okay. My sisters are all there, they were also studying in English medium and all, and English was a very good, easy for me also. But the thing is, initially when they speak very fast, it was difficult for me to understand also. Later, gradually I picked it up, and somehow by practice, by reading more, you get familiar with the things. But the language can be a biggest barrier in communication. I do agree, and we value of the message. We are discussing value. See, if you don't value the message, waste. Communication is, if you don't value the communicator, waste. Everything is a waste. That's what they're trying to say. You need to value your message. You need to understand your messages. Being a receiver, you need to value the first message. When you value the message and when you value the sender, then only you can accept the things better. You can understand the things better. So value, belief. First, all motivational speakers, they say some confidence and all. First thing I'm trying to say, believe in yourself, believe in your idea, believe in yourself, believe in your work, believe in your concept, believe in improving yourself. Not proving anyone, believing in improving yourself. That is what matters rather than anything else. So improve yourself. You need to improve yourself rather than anything else. So that is, improving is very important. So improving, that itself shows that I am proving. You need not prove anyone, just improve. That itself shows that I am proving. So that's what. Believe in yourself, believe in the concept, believe in the message, believe in the sender, believe in the message, believe in the things, believe in yourself, believe in your work, believe in your knowledge. That is very important. So if you don't have a belief, waste. That is, again, that will create a barrier. You don't believe the message, you don't believe the sender, you don't believe the communicator, you don't believe the concepts, waste. So that's what I'm trying to say. You need to first believe the things, what exactly these are. So believing is very important. Okay, so that's about believing. The next thing which you have to remember, BSA. S stands for sex. Again, this is there everywhere. Sex differentiation and the Beti Bachao, Beti Padao. Okay, there are so many works going on. Vinastriya Janam Nasti, Vinastriya Gamanam Nasti, Vinastriya Sushtiyeva Rasti. There is a saying in Sanskrit and all. Our Krishna Paramatma, Parthaya Pratibodhitaya, Bhagavatam Nasa, Narayanam Nasa. So what they are trying to say, Bhagavad Gita, our Krishna has told our Arjuna, Partha means Arjuna, that Vinastriya Jananam Nasti, Vinastriya Gamanam Nasti, Vinastriya Sushtiyeva Nasti. Without a woman there is no birth, without a woman there is no enjoyment, without woman there is no work at all. Without women, there is no environment at all. There is no world at all without women. So that's why you first need to give respect to the woman. For example, if the sender or a communicator is a female, some of the people they say, she is a female, what better she can do, what better she can communicate. That creates a barrier. Sex barrier. Next, age barrier. Age barrier. For example, if a sender is a very young, energetic person, and very at the, for example, very earliest age he has done is doing something, then sender, we don't value him, we don't believe him. Age barriers. The communication barriers. The first thing is language barrier. It's a main barrier. Value. Don't value the message. You don't believe in the message. And sex. Depending upon the sex, you differentiate and create barrier by yourself. Depending upon the age, you create barrier by yourself. These younger generation, these older generation, they don't know what are the needs of the younger generation. Like you create yourself. You create yourself the barriers. And the last but not LVBSA P. P stands for physical barriers. Physical barriers. Some communication is going on. You put a earphone and you don't want to listen it. That's a physical barrier. You yourself create physical barriers. Or there are some person who is preventing you from speaking with some person. This is a physical barrier. Education barrier. Different grades of education. Here, of course, group D, they have 10 passed. Your technicians and all, they will be again 10 passed plus some technical. Some DMLT or CMLT they have passed. And your nursing staff, BSc they have done, or some A&M course they have done. Doctors, of course, doctors are doctors. They have passed MBBS, MD. So educational barriers will be definitely there. And the thing which you have, yes. Economic status, socio-economic status barrier. Okay, educational barriers and economic barrier. Economic barriers means the poor and rich. It's yourself. You yourself are creating. There's nothing barrier like that. But I am poor. I can't afford that. So better I don't listen to these motivational videos. I don't listen to this personality. I will think about the things which by reading and getting marks. Yes, definitely they are very important. I'm not saying they're not important. But at the same time, you need to improve your personality, develop your personality, such that sustaining your success. For sustaining your success, you need these things. Okay, that's what they're trying to say. So, physical barriers, educational barriers, economic status barrier. P. TATU. Ta stands for timing. Attitude. Yes, it is the biggest barrier. Attitude. I know everything. I won't listen to anyone. I know anything. I know everything. I can do everything. Like that's the attitude. Attitude barrier. I don't listen to the center. That is attitude barrier. Timing. Very bad timing. Okay. Timing. And trust and understanding of the message. Trust and understanding of the message is very important. Trust. You don't trust the sender. And understanding of the message. You don't understand the message. Timing. Attitude. Okay. I repeat, last but not the least, I just added this just for better understanding. The barriers of communication. I repeat, barriers we have L, V, B, S, A, P, tattoo. So L stands for language, V stands for value, B stands for belief or believe in yourself, S stands for sex, A stands for age barrier, and P physical barriers, educational barriers, economical barriers, and tattoo timing, attitude, trust, understanding of the message barrier, understanding barrier. So these are the barriers, communication barriers. Very simple concept. So communication barriers. Okay, myself Dr. Thipperudraswamy. I have written book on personality development system, and I am planning to do a Guinness Book of World Record in the longest speech marathon by speaking about the personality development system book for more than 100 hours. Let's see to what extent I can succeed. But for the better understanding of my book, I am doing these videos. Jai Ganesh, Jai Shri Ram. I think I have covered whatever the things I have promised. There are some interpersonal relation, again that's a big different thing. We'll learn it in depth. Better we learn it in next video only. Okay, so myself Dr. Thipperudraswamy, I have written book on personality development system. So I'm planning to do a Guinness Book of World Record in the longest speech marathon by speaking about the personality development system book for more than 100 hours. And this is, I think, 12th step towards the Guinness Book of World Record. I think I have cost 30 hours of speaking. I think so. Okay, let's see. That's about this. And today I have discussed about communication definition, elements of communication, effective communication, effective communicator, barriers of communication. Okay, thank you. Jai Ganesh, Jai Shri Ram. Myself, Dr. Thipperudraswamy, I have written a book on personality development system, and I am planning to do a Guinness Book of World Record in the longest speech marathon by speaking about the personality development system book for more than 100 hours. Jai Ganesh, Jai Shri Ram.